Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittney Bundles and welcome to Motivational Monday. If you are new to this channel, every Monday I pick a scripture, a saying, a quote. I go over experiences that happened in my life or different experiences that you guys send me to go over and provide inspiration and motivation for the week. So if you are interested, be sure to give me a big thumbs up. Please make sure that you are subscribed and let's get right into the video. The quote that I chose is, "It's better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation." This is very true, you guys. I love this quote because I feel like so many of us try to fit into what social media wants us to do. You know what I mean? Everything is driven off of what others think about us. You post a picture on Facebook and we have to sit back and wait to see how many people are liking it. You know, you upload a video to YouTube and you have to sit back and wait for the response that you're going to get back from the video. You know, you post a picture on Instagram and you have to sit back and wait and see how many people are going to like the pose or the selfie that you uploaded. So the social media has really transformed and brought to the surface how the world is going. You know, a lot of things are graded on what others think. And so it's very easy to try to change and conform to what you see out there. For example, if you post a picture of you just sitting down in the car, like I do a lot of times on my Instagram, smiling, and then you see someone else post a picture and they're in their bikini, you may get under 20 likes, say they get over 1,000 likes. So you know, it's easy to look at it and say, you know what, I know what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I need to show a little bit more skin. Or maybe I need to go ahead and show the backside. Or maybe I need to do this. Or maybe, and so I can definitely understand how it can be easy to get caught up in the social media world. I can see how it can be easy to want to change how you're doing things or who you are, because you're like, wow, no one's really liking what I'm saying or liking what I'm doing, but someone else says this and they're liking that. So I'm going to act like that so I can get more views and gratitude. But ultimately, we have to remember to be who we are. You know, God made all of us unique for a reason. And your purpose is not to make sure that everyone likes you. Your purpose is not to make sure that everyone wants to follow you. But your purpose is to do what God created you to do, the way that He created you to do it, and to bring as many people as you can to Him. That's the purpose. And so I think, you know, we get sidetracked in trying to be that it person, the it girl, the it guy. We try to be that person with all the subscribers, all the love, all the likes, before we try to be ourselves. And I'm not saying everyone, but I definitely know that this video resonates with a lot of people, because it's true, whether you admit it or not, there's a lot of people that change who they are and sacrifice a lot of times their respect and dignity just for gratitude from others. And I'm not saying that gratitude doesn't feel good, because it does. Who doesn't like to be supported? Who doesn't like to be liked? You know, who doesn't want to be listened to? Everyone does. But at the same time, we have to make sure that our priorities and our morals are intact and our originality is intact, you know? And so the first thing that I want to go over is realize that your path is uniquely created for you. I hear so many people that say, or they use this as an excuse, you know, I'm going to wait to do this. I'm going to wait to start my business because there's already a lot of girls out there that do it. Or I'm going to wait to do this because there's already a lot of people over here that do it. But you have to realize the way that you're going to do it is going to be different than anyone else. You know, even for speaking engagements. I know when I started, being asked to do certain things or being asked to speak on certain topics, I used to feel so, and I still do sometimes, I have to remind myself of the truth, but I used to feel like I'm not the best speaker. There's so many people that can say this better. There's so many people that can make better eye contact. There's so many people that can speak better than I can, without messing up, without saying, or without, you know, there's so many people that can do that better than me. And then I had to remind myself, Brittney, the way that you say your message is going to be different than anyone else. You know, the way that God put the passion inside of you and the way that He created you is not going to come out like someone else. It's just like if you give two people a topic to talk about, it may be around the same topic, but one person is going to deliver it in a different way. And so we have to realize that we're uniquely different. The path that I have, even if I'm going in the same industry as someone else, it's going to be a different experience and it's going to be a different testimony because it's me going through it. You know what I mean? And so we can't use the excuse of, well, people are already doing it. It's too oversaturated. It's never too oversaturated for you to do your purpose. You need to be there. And so we have to remember that our path is uniquely created for us. Even if you're going down a path where a lot of people don't go down, or even if you're going in an industry, but you're taking a path that a lot of people in that industry don't take, don't look at it as, you know, am I weird? Am I crazy? Am I tripping for wanting to do it this way? No, there's a reason that you're looking at it differently. There's a reason. So don't be afraid to be that first person to break the cycle, to break the chain, to be you. Be who you are, and feel confident in what you're doing, and feel confident in who God created you to be, and feel confident in your differences. Yes, I don't speak like every other person. Yes, I'm not dressed like every other person. I get that. Maybe that means that you guys won't like everything I say. Maybe that means that I won't have 1 million subscribers. Maybe that means that. But on the flip side of that, I'm being who I am. I'm not changing who I am. And so it feels good for me to go to bed without any support or gratitude from people if it means that I'm still being who I am, And you are going to get those days where it may not feel good. You may say, dang, I want people to like me. But you have to remember that you're you for a reason. And you're going to attract the people that you need to attract to you by being you. I didn't say you're going to attract the people that you want, but the people that need to be attracted to what you're doing are going to be attracted to what you're doing. So you have to stay you. Second tip I have is be confident in the way that God made you. So kind of just like we went over, I remember in high school, there were some days that I sat and ate lunch by myself. And I can't tell you the humiliation and the embarrassing feelings that I had inside of my heart, and inside of my chest. I felt so embarrassed. I would go home some days and cry to my mom, cry to my grandmother. And I thank God that I have women in my life that pick me back up, that motivated me to keep going. But there were days that I did not want to go to school. There were days that I just wanted to hide my face because I knew in order to sit at this table, I had to be having sex. In order to sit at this table, I had to at least smoke weed. In order to sit at this table, I had to be a fighter. You know what I mean? And so there were different ways to be a part of a circle. And I just felt like I couldn't find a circle that I could be around because I was different. I talked different. I was told I talked white, I was told I didn't fight, or, you're a lame, or you're not cool. And I'm not saying I didn't have any friends, but I'm saying that these are some of the things that I was told. And so, it was hard for me to be confident in who I was. And I would get teased about different things. And just like everyone else, I'm sure everyone went through getting teased, but I just remember feeling like, wow, like, why did I get these cards? I was very skinny. I was 5'8". Let me just paint the picture. 5'8". I was 99 pounds in high school. I had glasses and I had braces. Okay. So I looked like that in pimples. So I had that like awkward, teenage kind of what they would, what the cartoons would paint out as being awkward. That was, my reality. That was who I looked like. And so, I just felt not confident some days. And it wasn't until my grandmother instilled in me, you're exactly how God wants you to be. God created you fearfully and wonderfully. You don't have to look like everyone else to be loved. I love you. God loves you. And so, no, you don't look like every single girl. Girls were going through puberty and they had this and they had that. And I'm like, when am I going to get that? And so I wanted to go in the bathroom and start stuffing my bra. And I wanted to do all this and I wanted to do that. And I wanted to start cussing. So I'll be in my mirror practicing how to cuss. Did I say it right? Okay, let me say it again. Shh. Did I say it right? And so I wanted to be somebody I wasn't. And I found myself getting more friends by doing that. Ironically, I had more people that wanted to be around me, more girls that were talking to me. I would try to make up little stories like, yeah, I have a boyfriend. Yeah, my boyfriend lives out of town. And yeah, we do this and we do that. No, and I had never did anything, but I wanted to fit in. And so after a while of doing that, not only could people see through it, like, Brittney, did that really happen? Not only could people see through it, but I just stopped feeling, I hated doing it. I hated going to school every day, trying to be somebody I wasn't. And so eventually, you go back to being who you are because you can't change it. I try to, am I talking too proper? Okay, let me try to change some of the things that I say. Let me try to sit around some other girls and see how they talk. But it wasn't me. And so I had to learn to be confident and comfortable with who I am and realize that God created me differently. And now it's not until years later that I understand why, some of the ways that I think and some of the skills that I have, I understand why, now because I'm being able to put those to use. And so I'm sitting back like, oh God, I get it now. I get why I wasn't in this group, and I get why I didn't do these kind of things, and I get why I went through this experience, and I get why. Not saying there's anything wrong for anyone that, went through a different experience than me, because that helps us. That's necessary. But I'm saying that you sometimes sit back and you look at things and you don't realize why you're going through something, but you learn so much in what you went through that you sit back and you have an aha moment like, God, you really do know what you're doing. You really know what you're doing. So trust God and be comfortable being you. Even if that means you're going to sit at the lunch table by yourself sometimes, even if that means that you may not have friends or coworkers at work. And we have to stop validating who we are based on how many friends we have, who we are based on how popular we are, and be comfortable in ourselves. And that time during high school really taught me to stand alone. And I needed that, because even now when I'm doing certain things, a lot of things that I'm asked to do, or a lot of things that I do, even for my business or to help other people, it's independent. You know what I mean? I'm working with people, but I'm not going with a group of people. I'm going by myself. So it really taught me to be independent. It really taught me to stand up straight and stand on my own. And it really taught me to find self-love within myself and not really others. And so, like I said before, yes, who does not love to be applauded? Who does not love to be encouraged or liked or supported? But at the end of the day, if it's something that I feel needs to be done or needs to be said, I'm not really doing it for the claps of everyone else. It's great that I get it, but I'm doing it because this is something that's in my heart. This is something that I feel that I need to speak on. And so whether I'm by myself at in that cafeteria or whether I'm with a group of people, I'm comfortable being Brittney. And so those were some of the growing pains that I had to go through, even as a child, so that I can be the person that I am today. Number 3, learn to appreciate. So you guys, this is a very important tip. I feel like when you see a lot of people, when they see something or someone that they like, they want to imitate what they do. And I'm not saying that you can't look at what someone's doing and say, you know what, I really, really like what this person's doing. I like what they stand for. So I'm motivated to do something too. I'm not saying that. Getting inspired and inspiration, and I'm not talking about that. I don't think that's wrong. There's people that inspire me, motivate me. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm saying when you see something that you like and you try to be that. You know, you see a girl that you think is really cool at school and you're like, you know what, she's doing all of the wrong things. I know they're wrong, but because she's doing them and she's cool, I'm going to do them. I'm going to act like her. Or even if you're at work and you see one of your coworkers, they keep moving up in the company because maybe they're kissing the manager's butt, or maybe they're doing things that are inappropriate. I remember when I was working for a company and I wasn't really close to my manager. You know, I was always trained at different positions that, you know, you have a business relationship. But as far as me going out, me drinking with my boss, me going to different hotels with my boss, me doing stuff, that wasn't comfortable for me. You know what I mean? And so I felt like sometimes I was treated differently because I didn't partake in certain activities. And so it was very tempting at times to say, you know what, should I do this? Because if I do this, I might be able to move up in the company, or I may be looked at a little bit better from my manager, you know, if I did this or if I did that. But it was not things that I enjoy doing. I don't like going out drinking all the time, especially with my boss. That's not something I enjoy doing. I don't want to go out to a concert and sleep in the same, not necessarily the same room, but in the same hotel as my boss. I mean, I don't know, especially if my boss is a different set. Sometimes you just don't feel comfortable based on the vibe, based on the situation, based on the circumstance. You just don't feel comfortable. So not saying there was anything wrong with it, not saying that anything inappropriate or wrong happened. It was just things that I wasn't comfortable with. And so because other people were doing it and they were joking in ways that, in my opinion, were inappropriate, and I didn't feel comfortable even joking, you know, those kind of ways in the workplace. But I'm like, okay, so if I say these kind of jokes, even with my boss, and I know it's inappropriate, I might be looked at it in a different light. I may have a shot of being moved up or being treated better if I do this. And so, like I said, it's tempting to try to imitate what you see. It's tempting to say, you know what, she just made this sexual joke with him and she got this treatment. She gets this recognition. So let me go ahead and make another sexual joke tomorrow and see what's going to happen to me. But I have to compromise how I feel, and I have to step outside of who I am to try to act like someone else to get something that, you know what I mean? And it's just like, it's too much. It's too much. And so eventually you have to realize that, yes, you might want something that someone else has. You may say, you know what, I really like how they got this for themselves. But the way to achieve that, if you want it for yourselves, is not by acting like they are. You know, I'm not saying you can't learn from that person. I'm not saying that, you know, you can't take some things away. But I'm saying that if it's something that's going to compromise your character, if it's something that's going to change who you are, don't even think about doing it. Don't think about doing it. And that's just one example. I know that there's other examples too, where you may have a friend. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, and you're around each other so much and the friend just starts being you. You know, like you look over and she has the same clothes on that you would pick out. She has the same nails on that you wear. She's starting to talk in your dialogue. And you're like, you know, I really appreciate the fact that you like what I'm doing and that you're flattered, you know, you're intrigued by the way that I dress and I talk and things like that. But ultimately, you're better being who you are. You know, no matter how much you try to be someone else, that's all it's going to be, you trying to be someone else. You're never going to succeed being me. No one can be me better than I can. I'm never going to succeed being you. I can't beat you at being you. So it's just kind of like it's a race that you're never going to win. You know, even if I start receiving the likes and the attention from social media, or I start getting the promotion by acting like someone else, or doing whatever it is that you were trying to achieve by acting or imitating someone else, you're losing who you are in the process. And not only that, but it's like, is it really worth it? You know, you gained all of this stuff, but you didn't gain it by being you. You gained it by being someone you're pretending to be. So it's always better. It's not just about getting the gift, or it's not just about getting success, but it's like how you got it. That matters to me. You know, that matters to me. And so I take pride in the things that I achieve, because I am proud of the way that I achieve them. You know, I'm not going to do anything underhandedly, and I'm not going to compromise who I am for success or for anything else. So just remember that, you guys. The fourth tip is accept growth and change. So just because you're remaining original, you're remaining you, does not mean that you don't have any room to grow. I'm always going to be Brittney, but I'm going to work on becoming the best version of Brittney that I can be. And so just because you're changing, just because you're growing, does not mean that you're losing your identity or losing your originality. You know, we want to make sure that we're not changing the core. You know, I'm always going to be Brittney, but like I said, don't use that as an excuse to not be your best. You know, I don't know if you've ever heard, I mentioned this in a video a few weeks ago. If you've ever heard anyone say, you know, I'm just me. They use that as an excuse to disrespect others. They use that as an excuse on why they failed at something, or they use that as an excuse on why it's okay to do something that's wrong. No, we can't use that as an excuse. You can be you, but like I said, there's always room for growth. The fifth tip is you'll never fail being you. So although the quote is, it's better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation, you really can't fail being who you are. You know, you can't really value or measure your success or who you are as a person based on what others are saying. You know, like I said before, you are not put on this earth to make sure that everyone loves what you're doing and everyone loves who you are. You know, we have to start seeking love from God and seeking love from ourselves. It's not about, like I said, a popularity contest and about who can make who like who. It's not about that. It's really about sticking to who you are. So whether you have 5 people that are inspired and motivated by what you're doing, or you have 5 million, you have the same responsibility. You still have a responsibility to lead as many as you can in the right direction. You have the responsibility to get yourself as right as you can so that you can bring others to God. You know, that's the responsibility that you have. And so if you're not being who you are, your message isn't going to be as effective. You know, not only can a lot of people see through you not being you, it's not even really about that, but a lot of times people can see through it, but you also aren't really, you're doing yourself an injustice. If I come out here and I'm changing up who Brittney is, do you know how many people wouldn't hear the message that you know I had in my heart? If I change everything about me and I say, you know what, I see everyone else, they're getting more views by doing prank videos. And not saying that I don't enjoy prank videos, because I do, but if I change my whole channel from, you know, my motivational messages, my inspiration, my tips, my tricks, all that kind of stuff regarding, you know, entrepreneurship and things like that, and I just start doing pranks only for the views, you know, and I start acting like someone else that has a lot of views just to bring views to my channel, I'm going to, even if it seems like I'm winning, I'm still failing, because I'm not really doing something that I want to do. I'm not doing something that I'm passionate about. Now, it's not saying that you have to just stick in one little box being you. I can still do pranks. I can still do challenges, but I have to do it in Brittney's way. I can't look at someone else and study how they are and then take that and say, you know what, I'm going to do the same thing just so I can get the same thing. No, you know what I mean? I can't. They already have their people based on who they are. I have my people that I'm looking to inspire based on who I am. And so ultimately, you'll never fail being who you are. Who you are is who God intended you to be, who God created you to be. And we know God doesn't make any mistakes. So I'm not going to discredit God by saying, you know what, I don't think you knew what you were doing by making me. So I'm going to go ahead and take it upon myself to be her. it's not going to work. It does not work that way. And even, like I said, even if it looks like it's working that way, it's not, because you know the truth. God knows the truth. And that's really all that matters. So you guys, I really hope this helps. You know, stay who you are. I don't care if you're doing a business that no one else understands. I don't care if you're going to a venture that no one else agrees with, or, you know, no one else really wants to support. Do it, and do it happily, and do it with your head up high, because you're doing something that you want to do, and you're doing something that only you can do that way. There's a million businesses, but when you open yours and when you're running yours, there's only one that can run it the way that you will. There's only one with your vision, and there's a reason for that. So you guys, I hope you guys got something out of this video. The overall message was just to be you and be proud of being who you are, and make sure that you're striving to be the best you that you can be. If you guys have any questions, be sure to leave them down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.